Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me with
You saw me off screen there.
Yeah. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome to the Armoury. Welcome to Arsenal News. And I was just laughing because Canners saw who was in the Tonight Show, and he was like,
First name.
It's got to be talked about because it's getting more and more serious as we go along.
Wow.
Do I think it will happen? I still don't think it will happen, but it's getting more serious. So yeah, let's see what happens with that. Just quickly say to Tony, yes, for some reason I've been called Bobby Ornstein today, and Fab. Yeah, I can't even say that; it just blows my head.
Fabrizio. Yeah, Fabrizio. Brizio.
Yeah,
Fabrizio.
And Kanakas.
Yeah.
But how are you, Canners, anyway, mate?
I'm very well, thank you. Still kind of buzzing from all the news that's going on, really. I know we knew it was all happening, but it's nice to know that it's all rubber stamped and just riding that wave, so to speak.
It is. I enjoyed doing the stream when it broke this afternoon. It just makes you smile. It's like constantly good news. And I did warn you guys, this will be a window we've never seen before. And so far, I'm hoping none of you are disappointed with the window, because I think it's just mad.
Long may it continue.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not done. Nowhere near done yet. So let's get into it. Obviously, we are going to talk about the new contract still, because it's Arsenal news. I broke it earlier, but he has released his statement now, so I can go through that. But we are talking about, obviously, William Saliba, the new number 2, which annoys me, if I'm honest. Not because of the number. Number 2 should be a right back, but it is what it is. Whatever. It's just, personally, take 5 off Party, give it to Saliba. That's what I would have done. But there you go. It is what it is. Right. So before I get into what Saliba has said, Canners, happy?
Oh, listen, we've made some crucial signings and re-signings or renewals in this close season. So this was the major one for me. Well, one of.
Yeah.
And I'm just so happy, really, because this kid is only 22 and I'm pretty sure he can only get better. I mean, what he's doing already is just phenomenal. And I think Arteta realised his importance to the team and the squad. And he's been rewarded as such. And the thing is, it's good to hear. You'll obviously get into the comments, but it's good to hear some of the things that he says, really. It just shows, really, in truly, how much and how far we have come as a club.
Yeah, exactly. And we've still got another 2 new contracts this summer to come yet. So we've got Martin Odegaard. He should renew this summer. And Benjamin White will be the other. So we've still got new contracts coming. But those ones are not so important that they must be done now. Saliba was hugely important now.
Absolutely.
Because he's out of contract next summer. And his first words were, honestly, the decision was easy. It wasn't that easy. I will be honest, it wasn't that easy. Because if you turned one of those teams down, and it's been mentioned regarding the new signing that's coming in, he turned down a similar team. And I guarantee half of our fan base would have said, yeah, that would be a hard team to turn down. I know Gums has said it as well. I think Gums has said it about Declan.
I know which team you're referring to.
But that's not an easy decision to turn down. So, and it was tricky. There was definitely bumps in the road, and the demands that Arsenal wanted at the beginning was nowhere near what Saliba wanted. Well, his agent. I won't blame Saliba in this. This is definitely his agent. But yeah, look, £190,000 a week. I have zero issue with it. Do you have any issue with the money? Because I know a lot of people do.
No, I don't, honestly. Listen, it's a short career, isn't it, really? And, you've got to really kind of, from a professional perspective, and you got to try and put yourselves into their shoes as such. You got to try and maximize what you can, and he's done that to the fullest. I don't begrudge him on that. I think that the wage pretty much rubber stamps the importance he is or has for this team, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's just as important as Saka and Martinelli, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
You know, yes, it's probably me being a defender saying that, yeah, forwards get the goals, but we keep them out. You know, it's just as important, in my opinion, in football games to be just as a good defender. But, you know.
I mean, such was the big drop between him and Holding.
Yeah.
It really, really showed, and you really, you know, it's like one of those ones when you don't really know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah.
And he was a classic case of that, Saliba.
Yeah. Big up to Jason, said it over and over. This is the biggest signing this summer, 100%. It was one of the most important ones that we got over the line, if I'm honest. Him and Declan, like, were the most important ones.
Yeah.
Luke, 100% agree with me on the centre backs wearing right back. Yeah, it's a minefield. It's annoying. Look, Declan will be wearing his number that he chooses for different reasons, and that's fine. Same as Havertz, if I'm honest. If you've got a special number, but it's when you mess around with the 1 to 11. That's what really annoys me.
That's where you draw the line.
Yeah. Sorry, but 1 to 11 should stay how they should be. Simply
I think that the worst one in recent history was Gallas wearing the number 10. That one was come on. No. Just it wasn't even Beckenbauer-esque.
I know. No. Oh, honestly. Big up to Kuna Greg for me, Saliba, and I can't even say his name. Vodiol.
Is it
different levels. Yeah. To be honest, I've seen him play, and I'm not 100% convinced. And I like the Bundesliga, and I watch him a lot, but I'm never that convinced by him, if I'm honest. I don't think he doesn't tickle my taste buds like Saliba does.
I know what you're saying. But I think because of the age, what he's doing and what he's done at his age, you've kind of like they're in that kind of same kind of bracket of player. It'd be interesting wherever Gvardio does go, if he goes.
Yeah, he is.
How if he comes to the Prem with that team, it'd be interesting to see how he actually does settle. Because I remember in the World Cup he did look quite good, actually. To be fair.
True. Only in the traditional working class of football is a big deal made about how much its players are earning in the more middle class, upper class sports of cricket, golf, tennis, and rugby. Not a word. Yeah, true. Very true. Look, there's so much money in football. Of course, the players are going to get paid, and so there should be, to be honest. Because if the money was just going to the clubs, that's wrong. Because it's the players that basically achieve the things, not the clubs. So yeah, it's madness.
It's the same thing with the whole NWA, not the group, NBA, and you had like Michael Jordan, from all those years back, and they realized actually it's the player that sells the seats. It's the players. The players are the ones who hold the power. If you don't have the best players playing, then what are you watching? You're watching a load of dross, basically. So the players have every right to want to be, to have a piece of the pie of the television rights and things like that. So I don't care how much he gets paid. Power to them, really. If they can get it, why not? Yeah, NWA. So I'm getting killed there. Yeah, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, all of those.
Just want to continue what Saliba was saying. So because I had a really good season last season, but unfortunately I didn't finish it because of injury. So I want more. I want to play more years for this amazing club, and I didn't achieve anything yet. So I want to win everything with this club. And to be honest, look, I'm looking forward to seeing him next season. It's gonna be an interesting one. Let's move on to one we did talk about, I think, yesterday. But quickly, I'm going to quickly cover it just to say what he said as well. So obviously, Reece Nelson signed his new deal yesterday, £60,000 a week. I just quickly want to say what he said. I'm kind of lost for words, if I'm honest. I've been here since I was 8. I'm now 23. It's been a hell of a journey, and I'm just so happy. My family are Arsenal supporters, so that makes it even happier. I'm just really happy and can't wait to get started for the new season. Look, I think we're both pretty much agreed on him. Like, he's a third choice winger. I don't think he's going to push Saka. He's definitely not going to push Martinelli for a starter. He's going to be a bit part off the sub bench, I think, and maybe see him in the Carabao Cup. That's about it.
I of all the will in the world, I would love him to, this to be like a breakout season where he absolutely smashes it, because such as he is a homegrown talent. As he said today, he's been with us since he was 8, and it would just be great for him. In my opinion, I hope he does become more than a bit part player with his performances. Given the manager that headache. My heart says that, but my head says that probably is not going to happen. So, but listen, good luck to the lad, and I think everyone's a winner really with this deal.
Yeah, look, he did show a little bit of promise just before he got an injury, didn't he?
Yeah,
there was definitely something there, but then that was pretty much. Yeah, I know he had like bit parts of the suspension stuff, but
yeah,
he did have a bit of promise just before he got that big injury. And look, I wish him all the success at Arsenal,
absolutely.
but I just don't think he's that level, if I'm honest. That's just my opinion. If he makes it, then great. But I think it's a case of, let's see how you get on next season. If he doesn't have a great season, then we've got value on him.
Absolutely.
Money. Look, we could easily get 20 million for him.
Yeah.
Clubs
I'm pretty sure Newcastle, whoever else were in for him, probably would have got somewhere near that. But definitely now the fact that, we've got the years of his contract kind of renewed, we should get that and then some.
Yeah, exactly. Moss saying here, and people over a year ago, this is obviously regarding Saliba. Thought we didn't want Arsenal. Wish fan base paid more attention proper in future for our loanees. Look, that's why I talk about the loanees as I do. Tell you how they get on at loan. I haven't done the show this year because obviously I've been doing Arsenal news, and we've had quite a lot, to be fair to me. I don't have much time.
I've never known a close season like it, or pre-season like it, actually. There's always been like that one player we've been trying to get, and it goes all the way to bloody deadline day.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're doing things differently. We're moving
exactly. Look, Arteta wanted 3 in before we went to America. He's got the 3, and then we'll talk about other things that could happen. But look, there's going to be more happening. I've always believed in Reece Nelson. Consistency has always been his issue. If he puts it together, then he's a very good player. Yeah, he's got the talent. He just, as you spot on, Luke, consistency. That's what you need when you're challenging for trophies. You need consistency.
Absolutely. There
can't be any fall-offs at all. Right, we're going to go through some other new contracts because there's been a few at Arsenal. I'm sure that pen has been changed a few times with how many contracts have been signed this week. Right, we're going to go into Elian Casada Fawn, who has signed his first professional contract. Now, this one I did speak about a couple of weeks ago, and I was heard that he was leaving. However, we've convinced him to stay. So absolutely brilliant stuff to pair once again that he's managed to keep him. He's a very talented left back, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him at some point, hopefully in Arsenal shirts. And we'll move on to Josh Robinson, a very good centre back. He has also signed his first professional contract. It's another pen, all these pens. And then we go on to Jimmy Gower, a very good midfielder. He has signed his first professional contract. And I hate trying to say his name. Ismail Ulad Mahand. I think that's how you say it.
Very well done.
Oh, okay. Signed his first. Now, this one is very, very talented. I do hope we get to see him at least in the Carabao. If not, he gets a very, very good loan. Because this one is the one that a lot of people talk about within the academy system.
Right.
Now, is this the one you hear about, or have you not really heard about him?
Yes, I do actually. Mostly actually from yourself. I always hear, you talking about him, and I'm very, 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 very intrigued to see actually how he plays and how he adapts actually if he is brought into the squad. I'm pretty sure at points in the season, even last year, he's been training with the first team.
Yeah.
Let's hope it continues. I mean, congratulations to the kids, man. To get your first professional contract at a club like Arsenal, that's no mean feat. Congratulations to all of them.
Yeah, big up to Social Joins. It's not going to right. Well, I'm going to get into this, and I'll explain why it can be both. It's not necessarily just the one. I'll explain why the Musa Diaby one is opening up a little bit more, and it's to do with a target that we didn't get, who has gone to a club who are going to loan him to Leverkusen. So it's a very interesting domino effect here, which is why the RB one is possible. Frimpong is also possible. We'll get into that in a minute. But big up to you. Everyone signed up now. It's brilliant. Now just need captain MVP Odegaard. Signed long term. So yes, he will be signing a new. Look, he deserves to be on again 190,000 for me. He's just as important as Saka. They should all be on the same amount. That's how I basically put it. They're all as important. Odegaard is exactly as important as everyone else. He's on 100 and I think it's 100. 110, something like that. Without the numbers in front of me, I can't tell you exactly. Because right. But yes, I will definitely get into it, mate. So don't worry. Let's move on to the next. We must sell for the phase 2, and no, not the Avengers. I love the way that people put phase 2 because automatically I hear it, and obviously my son and myself love the Avengers, and I always think phase 2, phase 2. Yes, here we go. But no, it's nothing to do with the Avengers. Right. So basically what we've now got to do is get the players out that we don't want or are interested in selling. Then we kind of, like I think I said the other day, about counting all the coins in the purse and then seeing what we can do with what we got. Now, that's the way that I look at it. I know it's a very silly way of doing it, but that's basically what it's going to be. I think we can get 150 to 200 if we sell the players that have got interest. So like the Thomas Partey, Holding, Balogun, Tavares, Cedric's going to go for £1. So that's something, I suppose. Runnison, 25p. Fredo, literally, I'll literally take a Fredo for Runnison. Do you remember 25p for a Fredo nowadays? No. Who else have we got to go out? Thomas Partey, possibly. We're going to get into him in a minute. Trying to think. Pepe, that's another one. Eddie, possibly. Now, the reason I say Eddie possibly is, look, we haven't put him up for sale. However, if Brentford, Brighton, West Ham, team like that came in with an offer for his value, Arsenal will go, yeah, okay. And I'll tell you. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, please finish.
And I'll tell you why, because we're linked with a striker and it fits in with the plan for next summer. So, but they're canners. You carry on, mate.
You mentioned Brentford.
Yes.
They are in need of a striker.
Correct.
And so it wouldn't surprise me if they did put a bid in. I think at first they might try a cheeky loan or something like that, knowing Brentford. But I think if it came to it, I wouldn't see why Brentford would put a serious bid in for Nketiah. Or I don't think they can afford Balogun. I think he's probably at least at 10 mil more, worth 10 mil more than Nketiah. But I think the only player in that list, what you drew out there, the only player I wouldn't want to go, or I would lose a little bit of sleep about him being sold, would be Thomas Partey, such as the fact that that would be seriously then gutting our midfield. I just have a little bit of apprehension there with that but everyone else from Pepe, as much as I've been maligned for saying that, hey, you know what, this could be his last chance to see what he does in pre-season, blah blah blah, but that's totally up to him really. But Tavares, Nketiah, obviously.
Tierney as well. We've got
Tierney. As much as I do love Tierney, I just think we're a different team when he plays, and that's not a positive, which unfortunately isn't the case. I love the guy to bits, but and I would rather he went abroad
Yeah.
But I don't think that would happen.
No.
So, but yeah, I wouldn't really lose any sleep about any of those players going, apart from Thomas Partey, to be honest. But yeah, I think you're right in terms of the number of numbers in terms of money we can get for them. I think we can get around absolutely, I would say at minimum 110, 120 mil, basically. So yeah, let's hope we do things in the right way, so it then, as you say, we can then count into our purse and see what we can do in terms of phase 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. Social joins has just reminded me of another one, the Conga. Yes, thank you very much. I forgot about him. To be honest, I've watched a lot of the training videos, and even Lakonga's jump was pathetic. I don't know if anyone's seen the jump where they're measuring how far they can do the leap. Even his jump was pathetic, and I'm like, oh, just leave, please, just honestly.
They all looked super happy to see each other, though, didn't they?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, come on, that's so for the cameras. You know, there's no way you're that happy to be back at preseason training at a club that you don't really want to be at.
Yeah,
there's no way.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we're going to have a lot of exits over the next few weeks now. Right, Eddie to Brentford, sale or loan. Sell Balogun 2 for over 50 million. Never going to get over 50 million for him. And buy what he thinks is the best striker in the world. Nope. At a reasonable look, the one you're on about will be heading to Italy, if I'm honest.
He's not talking about Jonathan David, is he?
Yeah, of course he is. Look, I will tell you exactly why Jonathan David is not the player that Arsenal would be looking for, and I'll explain to you very shortly why. Because we're being linked with a striker that is for a gap fill. There's a reason why it's a gap fill we need, and I'll go into it. Right, Luke, I have seen your question. I have started. I will we'll answer that at the end, mate, I promise. DWTT, big up to you. Thought Brentford side a striker already. Oh, crikey. I did the transfer show on FTSN. And I can't remember who they've signed, if I'm honest. It's possible. I do so much at the moment. I lose track on who signed who. But yeah, they might have done, but I'm not 100% sure, if I'm honest. They've signed a very good young centre-back. That much I do remember. Yeah. I will definitely get into that, I promise. Right, let's move on to the next topic, and that is Granit Xhaka finally leaves, and I put it finally because it's been talked about for weeks. Not that I'm grateful that he's leaving, it's just a case this story was just going on and on, and everyone was starting to go, oh, hang on, he might stay. No, he's not. He was never going to stay. The reason is he wants to move back to Germany, which is absolutely fine for his family. It's a very long contract, which Arsenal were never going to offer him in a million years. Look, I'm happy. To be honest, I will watch him. I will watch him play, and I hope he is the player that we saw last season and before we signed him, because honestly, he's a brilliant player. I know we talked about this last night on your show, Canners. You're quite happy that he's gone now?
Listen, it's bittersweet because, you know, for me, there was games where he didn't start, most notably Bournemouth at home, where I questioned the manager. Why you drop, you know our best 11, don't experiment, don't take the mick against, what you might conceive as a lower team. Play your best players. And Xhaka, I feel, was one of those players who was undroppable at that period of time. We're going to miss him. I'm hoping whoever does fill his boots, and then some. But you can't hold the player, really. I'm pretty sure there was some kind of gentleman's agreement at the start of the season between the two, Arteta and Xhaka. And look, I think, again, I'll use the term, everyone's a winner, because, listen, we pretty much, nearly doubled what we was going to get from Roma only like 2 seasons ago, was it? I think it was. And, I think he's going to go for, 10, 11 million or something like that. And we've managed to get 21 million for him. Great bit of business. But also, because of his family, and he has a young family. fair play to him. I think people or fans underestimate the personal side of a footballer, and this is part of it. This is, he could have said, I've come here at last. We got Champions League. I'm going to stay for one season and do that.
Yeah.
But no, it's personal reasons, and I respect it. I'm not mad at him. So good luck to him.
Exactly, and trust me, I'll be watching in the Bundesliga. Moss saying about the Balogun. Now, Balogun is not helping himself at the moment. He needs to get off Twitter and Instagram because he's not helping himself right now. The reason I'm saying it's nowhere near 50, his market value is nowhere near 50. I think Arsenal will accept, and I think I said this last night, either 35 to 40 million in lump sum, and then it'll be add-ons that may rise to the 50 million. There is no way any club will pay 50 million for him. Guarantee it. They'll do it in add-ons because you're not technically paying 50 million at the beginning. It's a long-term investment. But look, he really needs to just calm down because he's not helping himself right now. And this is why I've said I don't think Arteta's the greatest fan of him, because he does have a bit of a I don't know how to say it without being rude.
It's a typical US sportsman. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, that's fine.
They're quite brash and arrogant, aren't they? In the sense that, look, he's had a great season in France, but the hardest thing though is to follow up that season.
Yeah,
the second season is always the hardest one, whether he does that in France or whether he's in the Premiership or wherever he goes. He's under pressure now to follow that up wherever he ends up. He's under pressure to score goals, but it's not going to happen. 50 million.
Yeah,
I think it might be wise of Arsenal to put some kind of clause, maybe a buyback clause in there or something like that.
That would be fantastic.
Because I have this spidey sense, kind of tingly annoyance that he's going to be bloody good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have no doubt about how.
So yeah. Let's see.
Look, and I'm going to get into this, Moss, because look, his market value is £25 million. And the thing he posted, I think it was either today or yesterday, where he's in a Captain America suit. Got Avengers theme today, obviously. He put up his market value behind him because he knows Arsenal were asking 50 million. So he's obviously trying to force Arsenal's hand to ask for less because more clubs will come in for him. There's no way Chelsea will pay 50 million for him. I guarantee you that. And what you're saying here about Rice he was actually 80 million. So we've paid 100. So that is, like I said, 25% more than his market value. That is pretty much how players go. So if we're talking about Balogun, 25% on 25 is what? 33, 34 million. Yeah. So we shouldn't be asking for 50. If I'm honest, I think we'll be lucky to get 40. That's just my opinion. Look, Arsenal will try and do what they can. Luke's saying here, Balogun isn't really American though, Canners. He's just pretending to be. What if Arsenal don't want him? I'm guessing you're on about Balogun there. I honestly don't believe all the talk about how much we want to keep him. I think it's a ploy to try and get as much.
Of course, as we can. You can't overtly say, "Oh, we don't want him. We want to get rid of him. Who wants him?" You're never going to get the best deal possible for the club if you come out, in public and say that you don't want him. I think you're right, Bobby, 100%. The club are looking to cash in on him, and it's all about getting the right deal for everyone, really. I think, he's going to go on that US tour. I don't think he will change anyone's minds, but it'll be interesting, and it would be good for him to put himself in the shop window. Yeah, and that's 100%. what that's about.
Yeah. Right. Gunnar Greg saying, sorry. But I did notice Moss saying about Kevin Schade, the German youngster, I think 20 years old, who went on loan at Brentford last. They've made that a permanent signing. But I off the top of my head, Gunnar Greg, I couldn't tell you who everyone signed. I've got them all listed on my pad, my trusty pad that I use for everything. So, I don't know, but I don't think I don't think Brentford could pay Balogun. They could buy Eddie. I don't think they could afford Balogun.
No.
Balogun, for me, to be honest, it wouldn't shock me if he does go to Chelsea. And I know that would upset a lot of Arsenal fans, but it wouldn't shock me because of the Todd Bowley situation.
Yeah. I think, you'd have to try and stretch out as much as you could. Oh dear. No, he hasn't, has he?
He has.
Oh.
Tony, meet Moss. Moss, meet Tony. I'm just going to leave you two to it because honestly, I'm not getting involved in that.
Comments blow up now.
Yeah. Balogun's antics are annoying me, to be honest. I am more inclined to sell him now. This is, I don't know if you remember, Luke, I told you a few weeks ago about the Arteta wasn't the greatest fan of Balogun's attitude. Now you can see what he's on about. He honestly does have a little bit of annoying attitude, if I'm honest. And it does really top. Yes, it is. That is actually accurate. It's now I think Belgium are now in fifth, aren't they? And it's Netherlands. Wow. Yeah, so Belgium are now in fifth. Yeah, so yeah. But anyway, let's move on. We always get carried away when we talk about other stuff. Right. No party in Saudi, just with the old lady. Now, if you don't understand that, I will explain. He has turned down Saudi Arabia, but he is interested in Juventus. Now, Juventus have now got to agree a fee with Arsenal if that is what they want to do. That is where Thomas would like to go, is Juventus. I'm more convinced it is going to happen now. I was more 50-50, I think, last time we spoke. Was it Tuesday? Yep. I'm honestly thinking it's going to happen. Yeah, I really do. Look, if he went to Juventus, are you going to be that bothered by that?
The only thing that would bother me with that transfer would be the price we get for him.
Yeah,
I just don't. Juventus don't normally pay that high.
No, they don't.
So,
how much do you want from him?
I don't think we'd get it, but anything upwards 35, 40.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's talk about 25.
Wow.
I'm more inclined to enjoy area like the 30, 35. Yeah. I'll be quite happy. 25, I think it's just a little bit not for me.
He's still got. This will be his last contract.
Yeah. I had to put that pun in there because I thought it was quite funny, to be honest. But yeah,
it was a good one, to be fair. Yeah. For me, first part of the season, it was out of him and Saliba, who I thought were our best players. Because it just seemed to me when I was watching the games, how we started off from the back. Those two were so influential and important to what we did when we started going forward. Even the game against Tottenham at Tottenham, he was brilliant in that game. I don't even remember his volley that rattled the bar. I'm pretty sure it's still rocking now. That game, I just thought he was brilliant, and we was waiting a long time to get that kind of performance from him, and he continued to do that. But yeah, as I said, his form plummeted. It fell off a cliff. And if they're selling him from that, and as what you say, in terms of stats, I get it. But surely we must get more than 25 mil for him.
If Arsenal definitely want to move on from him, just get him out. And if that's the only place he'll let go, then fair dues, I suppose. Look, there are now. There's a bit of a strange story that came in today. Now, I don't know who he's being linked with, but I know his agent's in England today. So he's obviously speaking to a team, is Federico Chiesa. Now, we were linked with him a couple of weeks ago, but I have not heard who the agent is speaking to. I've not heard any concrete information about that yet. But it does interest me. It does... Do you know what I mean? Because we are looking for a winger.
Two players were to switch.
Yeah,
I'd be for it.
That's what.
Even though I know we're losing a great player from, in my eyes, anyway, from midfield, that would soften the blow for me.
Yeah. Luke's saying here, I'd accept. Yes, I remember you doing the show that we did, and you did say 25. I did write that down as well. Yeah. So, yeah, I think if it was there was chat, and I didn't want to talk about it, but there was I think it's Paul Ince that suggested that Man United come in for him.
Oh no way! Yeah, I heard that. No way.
Yeah,
but
that's just
him
Paul
and
Ince.
Casemiro in that midfield.
But yeah, I can't see that Arsenal doing that. And to be fair, I don't think even Thomas wants to stay in England, and that's for me.
Yeah, and I think there's more reasons to that.
Yeah,
as well, so.
yeah. Look, I think everyone that's listening in, and big up to the 132 that are currently listening.
Amazing.
Big up to everyone. I'm trying not to go but yeah, I think we all kind of know what's happening behind the scenes, and I think we just need to get rid, to be honest. Now, and get some money, move on, get someone that we will be talking about shortly, and just move on from him.
Absolutely. I think probably now just it's a bit of a bad smell kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
exactly, bad smell. Right, Tchouameni to Arsenal. Kanaka-gate happening. Now, the biggest story there is definitely the Kanaka-gate happening. That's the biggest story. However, the reason that we have to talk about Tchouameni now. The Tchouameni, there is another story that I'll be talking about as well, which is to do with Diaby. So I'm going to kind of not interlink them too much. But Real Madrid are going to have to sell one midfielder this summer to finance another move that they want to make. Now, the two that are being lined up to leave is Valverde and Tchouameni.
Yeah.
So there is a possibility. I am still not 100% convinced on this yet, and I will be absolutely honest with you. I'm not convinced yet. But if I keep hearing the same stuff continuously happening, and the fee I've heard is crazy. How much do you think that they're willing to listen to?
I was going to say about £80 million.
Lower.
Bloody hell! In that case, then we've got to go and get him. If we talk about 70,
lower than that. They're talking around 60 million. They'll accept. I know. I honestly, this is why I kind of don't believe it so much, because the money just doesn't add up to me, because they paid 80 million for him.
Wow. So
I know
that's a steal.
It is.
I've heard rumors also that Liverpool want Valverde.
Yeah.
And whatever cash they're getting from one of these two players, they're going for Mbappe.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're going to have to talk about Mbappe, because he is in the today's show highlights, and there's a reason why we need to talk about him. It's going to be a very quick conversation, and don't believe what you heard on Sky Sports today, because that is absolute rubbish. You can't agree a free transfer before even the season's even ended yet, or it started. You can only do it in 6 months.
This comment here, I think
one?
what you just took off.
Oh, Geeks of I love the name of
Muckleby. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think whether they want to join Arsenal, I don't think that's a question anymore. I really don't. I actually think
I can tell you if Tchouameni wants to join Arsenal, he'd jump at the chance. Valverde not so much, but Tchouameni definitely would. And I tell you why, because Saliba is very good friends with him.
Yes.
So I have no doubt. And to be honest, the way that Arteta coaches is starting to feed around the European circuit.
Yes.
And as I said this afternoon on the Saliba stream that I did, Mikel is the only coach, and I do work and observe every coach in pretty much the whole of Europe. He is the only person like him. There is no one like him. He is outrageous, crazy, funny, and does things very differently. But you can kind of, because you see the players and how happy they are, you obviously know that it's all working. So, as much as I find it crazy, now there's no way I would have done it playing for my team.
Yeah.
if they love it, then go for it. And Tchouameni, and we'll talk about Mbappe in a bit as well. Look, this. I'm sure this conversation will keep continuously happening on every show that I do until probably August, if I'm honest, because this is the thing. Because what Tchouameni wants to hear from Real Madrid is you're going to get guaranteed this amount of game time. If he's not happy, like I've said before, if he's not happy with the answer, he will then force the move. Same with Valverde. Both of those are extremely talented midfielders.
Yeah.
And they've got 8 midfielders, and they can only play 3.
And those 8 midfielders are bloody good midfielders as well. You talk them Cruz, Modric, Bellingham, Valverde, Tchouameni. Who else they got?
Arda Güler, who they've just signed that we were trying to get. But
they've got him.
Yeah, they've got him now. But we're going to get into that conversation as well. Which is that's what's to do with Diaby. So we'll
yes, I am across the pond.
Okay. Tchouameni is a real possibility, in my opinion, if Madrid can agree a fee with PSG.
I don't want Madrid getting Mbappe though.
We'll get into this in a minute. Don't you worry. Madrid paid 70 million for Tchouameni. 60 million is reasonable, to be honest. James, yeah. It's just weird that Real Madrid make a loss on him. For someone young, old, yeah, fair enough, but someone young seems mad. Good have done. We'll talk about Güler in a minute. We seem to be in the market for a right back. Could Timber be used as a 6 and Rice as a number 8? We'll get into this, I promise. Aspie went to Atletico. Yes, he did. Let's move on to Diaby. Doors open to the possibility of Diaby. Now, the reason the door has opened wider now is because, like I said, Real Madrid have signed Arda Güler, who we were trying to sign as well. Yeah. And they are open to the idea of loaning him out to Leverkusen. If that happens, that opens the door for Diaby to leave. And there's only 2 clubs that are showing extreme interest. Yes, Newcastle's name keeps getting mentioned, but it's Man United and Arsenal. Now, Man United have obviously got their issues with FFP, and they can only get a certain amount of players in with the amount of money they've got. So then that opens the door to us even wider. Now, I've always said that we are looking for a forward, so this is a possibility. I don't think it's the biggest possibility. I think there's another one that we'll be talking about shortly that's bigger, but he is someone that we've got to keep an eye on for the next few weeks, because, if we do get the players out the door that we do want to leave, then there's no reason why not, because he's only going to cost 50 million. That's a bargain for me.
I like that. I like the way we say only 50 million now.
Well, I know. Trust me. Back in the 90s, we were like, 50 million? What? Yeah.
No player's worth 50 million.
But 50 million nowadays is a Kieran Tierney and a Lokonga out the door. And then you get the RB in. Yeah.
That will be a brilliant bit of business.
Yeah, it will.
Absolutely amazing. I like this kid. I think he's fast. He's direct. He has an eye for a goal. And if there's a possibility of us getting him, I think we should explore that. I think it will be a great backup for Saka. I wouldn't say backup, rotational player for Saka. Because I actually think they both could have such healthy competition for that wide berth. It would be brilliant. It just makes sense. It just ticks all the right boxes in my opinion.
Yeah. Moss, I've just seen your comment about the that City people down the road. I'm not even going to bother bringing it up, but if they think they've won this window, they're mental. Simple as that. I've seen it, Moss. I just don't want to put it up because it's just a waste of my time, to be honest. Not for your comment, it's to do with talking about them. Conversations have taken place for Frimpong, as someone said about the right back. Yes, this is possible. It still doesn't make much sense to me, if I'm honest. Tierney going, yes, but for me, it still means someone else has got to go. It doesn't all add up. But the conversations have taken place. I think the fee will be around 45 million. Now, what I like about Frimpong is he can play right and left back very comfortably. And that's important for me, is the fact that he's able to fit in with a role. If we have Timber on the right, we can then do the inverted rubbish. Then Frimpong's going to be comfortable on the left. So it's kind of it's a very, very interesting signing. Now, obviously, I think we talked about this on Tuesday with you, Canners, and you don't know much about him, but it's the goals and assists that interest me about him. He's got 8 goals, 7 assists in the Bundesliga from right back. It's mental.
That's phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah.
But maybe you're right. Something told me that. Yeah.
That is absolutely spot on, Geeks and Muckleby. I'm enjoying saying your name as well because it just makes me smile. What a great time to be an Arsenal fan. Infrastructure, board level support, team expertise, and squad level and potential. Everything is heading in the right direction. So excited. This is the first time, and I could probably say this in the whole time I've supported Arsenal, where we have got such a great foundation that no matter what happens in the next 5 years, we've got so much. If something goes wrong, say Mikel Arteta gets approached by PSG, Barcelona, he leaves, our foundations are still there. That's not going to change. There is no way, there is no other manager that can't come in and take these players again and follow the same, road, however you want to put it. But then Frimpong, nice to have. Yeah, I like Frimpong. This one could take a while because, as I said, exits have to happen now. There's going to have to be quite a few exits before we consider who else comes in, unless someone gets very close to signing one of our targets. Then we might be forced to quickly go and get him before they do. And I think you kind of know who I'm going to talk about very, very soon. There we go. Look at that. Southampton.
Is this by magic?
I know, it's amazing. To be honest, I actually forget what order all the slides going in the end. Southampton willing to accept 40 million. How kind. Now, I've put how kind because I thought asking for 50 million was madness. Now they've dropped it for 40 million. That's more how I'm happy with that price. That's an acceptable price to me. I still personally would do 35 plus 5 in add-ons if I'm being really.
That's what I probably think it would come to in the end. To be honest, I think player power also is coming into play here, such as the fact that he doesn't want to be, playing in a championship. He actually wants to go to Arsenal. Yeah. They've obviously discussed. He's aware of what Arsenal probably go to in terms of max. Yeah. And so I'm pretty sure from a player's perspective, he's not throwing his toys out the pram, but he's had conversations and Southampton are probably willing now to kind of be a bit more reasonable. He's a very, very good player. And if we can get him for that kind of price, that'd be amazing, I think. I think 35 plus 5, as you said. I think that'd be a fair price for all, to be honest. Considering someone like Maddison, who's a fully fledged England international, went for 40. I think that's very fair. Yeah.
Look, I don't want to talk about them, but the price that Maddison went for was brilliant. I thought that was brilliant bargaining.
Yeah.
Because Maddison is a very good player. I don't care he's gone to the other team. There's a famous midfielder that used to play for that team that I absolutely loved. His name's on the back of an England shirt. I absolutely loved him. And I'll always love him. He's had a horrible life since then, but he was always my favourite midfielder to watch. I watched him play against us a few times. He's just a nightmare player, and I'll always love him. And I'll probably love Maddison there as well because I just love watching him play. I think he's very talented. Yeah. It's good to know the answers for Arsenal are small, not a lot of holes to fill, and that's the exact way to look at it. We are building a squad again, and it's a young squad. No one's coming to close to the edge of their career now.
Yep.
And I don't think we can ever say that about any season. Definitely that I've been alive. No. There's always been a Tony Adams getting close to the end of his career, and there's always been someone getting close to the end of the career. But everyone's kind of not even at their peak at the moment.
Yeah, or coming up to the middle of their career, so to speak.
This one, Moss, it's Liverpool. Newcastle possibly, but they've got Tonali, so that makes zero sense, especially when they've got Guimaraes as well. Unless Guimaraes is leaving, there has been rumours before about him leaving, but I don't believe it if I'm honest. As for Man U, as I explained before, Man United have got their own issues, and that's kind of helping us at the moment. And I don't say it like with happiness saying that, because you know me, and I want all their fans to be happy, and it's a horrible situation, United, if I'm honest. But yeah, so it's definitely us or Liverpool for Lavia. I can't see any other options, if I'm honest. Luke has got the name right. Yes, it is him. I absolutely love watching him play. We don't
Quality player.
Yeah, I love it. I can only describe it like the feelings from the summer Bruce Rioch signing. Yes, it's very close to that. That is probably my most favourite time with Arsenal signing players.
Do you know what? I never forget the day I saw that flash up on CFAX. Never forget it. It was that was my Kennedy moment, basically.
Yeah.
You know, where was you when you found out Arsenal found, signed Bergkamp?
Yeah.
And I just remember that. But even so, though, as great as Dennis Bergkamp was as a signing and David Platt, what we're doing this year is even bigger. I can't think of in recent history a transfer window where we're not messing about and we're getting these players in that are brilliant players. And it's just great to be a part of, to witness what is actually going, and even better to talk to you about it, Bobby.
Yeah. How old was David Platt when we signed him?
I think he's about 29.
Yeah, so he was coming to the end of his career, really, wasn't he? So as great as that signing was, and I loved watching him play, again, this window is just kapow. Like there's no words for it in the dictionary, if I'm honest.
We're signing players on the brink of becoming, going on to that next step of, i.e. world class, or be, a very good, European footballer. Do you know what I'm saying? So we're fishing in a different pond or sea or whatever it is, basically now, and it's great to witness, really, and once Jack has gone and more than likely Party goes, I think we've already discussed this, haven't we, in terms of what the squad's average age is going to be. I mean, it's only going to be El Neni who's going to be 31, or Jorginho who's 30. Then the rest are 26 and below. Nuts.
We probably are going to have the youngest squad next season on average.
And I'd say probably the most athletic and technical. Maybe technical wise, that might kind of battle with Man City, but I tell you what, we're closing that gap.
100%. Just want to continue your message, Geeks of Muckleby. I just love saying Muckleby. Great work, lads. I have subbed. Thank you ever so much, Geeks of Muckleby. Really appreciate it. I only call Cazorla at Rangers. As you can tell, Moss, and you know what Scottish team I support. That's why I really watched him and really enjoyed him as well. But I did remember him at that other team, and I enjoyed watching him there, to be honest, as well. It was hard not to. Same as Lineker. I loved watching him play. Klinsmann is another one that I enjoyed watching. There has been players at that club that I've enjoyed watching. It's hard to admit it, but of course you can. You've got to, everyone knows I'm a football fan first and Arsenal fan second. Big up to G Talks. How you doing, well, my friend? Me too, Geeks. Bergkamp side. Yeah, I think everyone did when Bergkamp side. To be fair, I don't want opposition fans being happy. I know you don't, but you know the field that I work in, so it kind of I have to try and make everyone happy as much as I can.
Hey,
big up to Bargav. What's the scoop? We've been talking about loads, Bargav. There's loads. It's a great time to be an Arsenal fan. Absolutely. And being able to have an Arsenal YouTube where we can talk about all the stuff that is happening and share it with all you guys. Me as well, Cannons, but it started with Odegaard, Rami. Okay, yep. Shalom to Terence. Hope you're doing well, my friend.
Tips.
Told everyone these championship franchise owners would come through and they mess about like Hollywood. 90s, Lineker, Gaz, England, hating Klinsmann, and Rudy Voller. No, I liked Klinsmann. Still do, to be honest. He's just a nice guy. Right, let's move on to Arsenal have been offered Xavi Simons. Now, as I said on Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday. To be honest, I've done so many Arsenal news this week. I haven't got a clue.
It's all like one big show rolled into one week, isn't it? Yeah.
PSG have activated the clause that they've got, but the power, thankfully, is with Simmons. So it's down to Simmons what he wants to do. Now, I don't know the legalities of what happens if he chooses to go, like how much someone has to pay for him. I'm guessing because PSG. Oh, see, I don't know if he says no to PSG. Who owns him? Is it still PSV? I don't actually know. It's a weird one for me.
Yeah, because really and truly, the player has to agree to go, right?
Yeah, because the activation is like 5.1 million. It's next to nothing, which is
so I'm guessing if all parties were agreed, then they'd have to sell for 5.1 million. So if the player wanted to go to PSG have put in the 5.1, then PSV have got no, power to say no to that.
Yeah.
However, if the player doesn't, I think if the player doesn't want to go to PSG, then he can reject, and then I guess Arsenal can then negotiate with PSV for a fee.
Yeah,
and they'll probably get a lot more than 5.1 million.
Yeah, well, rightly so. He's definitely worth 30 million at the bare minimum.
Yeah,
because he is multi-talented. Like he can play AM. And I do agree with the story that I read about him, saying he literally tore Arsenal apart, and he did.
Listen,
when we played.
He is the only one player, and I watched him closely, that gave Saliba a torrid time.
Yeah,
he's the only player that season that I thought, and I thought, oh, this kid's a problem.
Yeah, he's good. I like him. Xavi or Diaby would be great. Xavi. Am I missing something there? Xavi. I don't know anyone called Xavi. Do you know anyone called Xavi?
No, I'm racking my brain.
Oh, no.
Across the pond, let us know. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, Simmons. Xavi Simmons or Diaby.
Don't do us like that. Simmons.
Now I've got it. Yes, now I've got it. Right. Okay. It's because you've gone for first name and then surname, and that's what's really confused me. That's what it is. Big up to you, boss. I love how much you always make me think to try and work out what you're
Keeps
trying to say.
us on our toes, doesn't he?
He does. He always tries like, what? Second time this week, someone fawns over Gaza. Good player. Sad people didn't rein him in. Yeah, well, different times, unfortunately.
Yeah,
if you get to read his autobiography, you'll understand why Gaza is the way Gaza is. Yeah. I don't have many footballer autobiographies because I'm not a great fan of reading, but Gaza is one I actually did get, and yeah, you can understand why he is the way he is now, unfortunately. PSG, good to see Arsenal finally having pull and willingness to pull 100%. He stays at PSV. Okay, from the 1st of August, Simmons becomes available to the open market. Thank you, Luke. To be honest, I have not spoken to any colleagues over there, so I didn't know exactly what happens at the end of this period of release clause rubbish. It's just madness. With the remaining budget, you're on the phone to Mecca. What do you get him to focus on? A right winger, CDM right back, or a number 9? You can only pick 2. That's mean. Right, okay. For me, a right winger and a number 9, as our squad stands right now. Right winger and a number 9.
Bobby, I was about to say the exact same thing. Not being boring, geeks of Muckleby, but I was going to say the right winger, someone who can battle it out with Saka, and the number 9. Considering if we get rid of, if we lose both Balogun and Nketiah, it would be good to have someone like maybe a Vlahovic in. I don't know.
Yeah. We're going to get into a striker very shortly. Why do we want Xavi Simmons? I can see why, because he's very talented, Bargev.
Watch the game against PSV at PSV.
Yeah, honestly, he's very talented, Bargev.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't turn their noses up at it, and I do get it, but honestly, he's so talented. He's only about 20 as well. So
yeah, very young. Very young.
Big up to boys. Yes, Mossanese, we are learning, mate. Oh, I promise. It's because you put two. I thought you put two surnames together, and I was trying to rack my brains. Who's a Xavi that I can't think of right now? But yes, now you've used his first name and the other person's surname. Now it makes sense.
Makes sense.
I thought we were just being sarcastic, not knowing any. Tony Adams and Maradona look obvious good reads. Yeah, Tony Adams is probably a good read, if I'm honest. Centre midfielder if Selva. Okay, yeah, we were doing it as the squad stands right now. Sangare would fit us. Yes, he is a good player. I think I have heard he's going elsewhere. I can't remember where he was going, but it's not to England as far as I'm aware. I never get the turn of notices. Tush for me is a must. We're on a first name terms here. Yes, we are. Big up to Terence. Right, let's move on to the striker. And I will talk about this one because it needs to be understood. Right, we've been linked with him today. Arsenal have inquired about Mehdi Taremi. He's an Iranian 30-year-old striker. His stats this season for FC Porto in the league was started 31 games, scored 22 goals, and 7 assists. Now, the reason that you're going to go, oh, hang on, he's 30. There's a reason why we're looking at him because he's 30. It's because next summer is when we want to go big on a striker. So if we just go out and spend, 20 million on a striker that is very, very potent, then we can still do that next summer. And either Taremi moves on or just stays around and does a bit like Giroud or something like that, then it makes total sense. Now, Canners, I know I always put everyone on the spot here. Have you heard of Taremi?
No,
it's absolutely fine. Don't worry.
So I'm kind of surprised. This one's totally out of left field, and to be honest, it seems like a typical Edu Arteta kind of signing.
He is the exact profile that we want. Tall, strong. Obviously, we don't have that at Arsenal at all at the moment. So it would be.
What was he like pace-wise?
Oh, crikey. Now you're asking.
If he's got if he's quick enough over 5-10 yards, then yeah, I think it's something that would probably fit us.
Yeah, I think he's okay. He's not brilliant though.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, that's where I kind of go. Yeah, but I kind of get it because, if we were just struggling to get a goal or something, just shove him up there and just whip some crosses in and hopefully just heads one or just bangs one in the back. It's not someone I've always said that I believe any striker that comes in is never going to be an exciting one this summer.
Yeah.
I've always said that. We were linked with Sanabria from Torino earlier in the window. So, and he again is very similar to Taremi. Nothing exciting. He's very much like a Giroud build. So Luke said he liked him at the World Cup. So if anyone can go back and watch him at the World Cup, please do. Terence, yes, look, Terence, I get a lot of people are not going to understand who he is, and that's absolutely fine. Worth taking Alexis Sanchez up on the offer for a season contract.
That would be controversial.
Yeah, and honestly, I know Arteta is definitely a no-no to that, so I'll stick with what Arteta says about that. Ends, yeah, a little better, but Taremi, nice and aggressive, decent speed, says Moss. And
okay.
I guarantee, yeah, he watched a lot of the World Cup. I didn't for personal reasons, so yeah.
As long as he hasn't got Giroud speed, because I just remember when I always remember that he scored against Villa, Giroud, right? But he was clean through with about half the pitch, no one was there, and all of a sudden, by the time he actually got his shot off, everyone had caught him up. That's how slow he was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Giroud, great touch, blah, blah, blah. But speed was absolutely, yeah.
Taremi is around 6'2", so
okay,
tall enough. Yeah, it's decent height. I see Man United fans who wanted Taremi 12 months ago. 12 months left on his contract. So, that's another reason. Terence saying 6'1", sat 6'1", 6'2". I said to Geeks, and so did BX, but Bobby said no way to Alexis. Look, the reason I'm saying no to Alexis is what happened And also, Arteta has no wish for him at the club. Don't forget, this is not our decisions; these are Arsenal's. We can all have our opinions, but I'll stick with what Arteta says on this one. On a free, yeah, I get he's a free, but honestly, I like what Terrace just put actually. The Iranian Costa, but with better looks. Some pace would be nice. Who has the most? Who has the most pace that we can get? Or you have to come back to me next week. I'll have a look around, see what I can find.
Mbappe.
We're going to get into Mbappe. I promise. We're going to get into Mbappe now. A big if, but still, it's a great if. Now, obviously, he has come out and said that he admires Arteta, he admires Arsenal, and there's a lot of talk that a lot of the Saliba is chatting to Mbappe about joining Arsenal. He obviously is out of contract next summer. PSG are under this horrible situation, which they only deserve themselves, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
That it's a case of sell or sign a contract. They will not be willing to let him go for free next summer. Tough, if I'm honest. There's obviously talk today that Real Madrid have agreed a deal with him on free. It's impossible. It's out of the rules of that negotiation. Can't happen this early. So there's no way he can agree to a free yet. So I can't see it happening because I do think PSG will be forced to sell him this summer, if I'm honest. I think we had a conversation the other day about Osimhen or Mbappe, didn't we? And you chose Mbappe, and I want Osimhen. I can't see it. I can't because I can't see him going for free. So I think PSG will be forced to sell. And if I'm honest, I'd rather Real Madrid buy him and then we get Tchouameni. That's the theory I would rather go down. I know Kanaka's. I've only just said your name was Kanaka's. Ganas wouldn't want that. That was an absolute error there. Sorry, Ganas. But yeah, I can't see it happening. But what about you? What do you reckon will happen with Mbappe?
I think you're right. I think he's going to be sold this year. I actually even heard the fact that Real Madrid will sell. Sorry, PSG will sell some of his friends or whatever.
Yeah,
if he doesn't sign.
Yeah, it's horrid there right now.
So it's going to be super toxic if he's still there and the transfer window's closed. That would be absolutely nuts. I can't. When is the window shut in France? Is it
around the same time?
Yeah, end of August.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what happens. I mean, one thing is that I don't want us to fund that bid to help Madrid get Mbappe. But like you said, you know what? Sometimes you have to cut your nose to spite your face, kind of thing. And to get Tchouameni in will be a great bit of business for us if we can get it from around the 60 million mark. I have no idea how Real Madrid are going to find the extra 100 million because I'm pretty sure he'd be over 100 million still, right? To purchase him from PSG. But it would just be great if he stayed there for the season. And would it be beyond the realms of possibility to say that, okay, for Arsenal, we give him $1 million a week? That would be 50 million a year over a 4-year contract. That would be 200 million. That would be his transfer worth, isn't it? Pay 200 million over 4 years now. Could we do that?
No, the Kronkers. Look, I get that we keep within certain parameters with our wage structure. We have to look out for the future of the club. Yeah. And I know Luke was saying about taking a 50%. He is on, because I've just looked it up, he's on 1.4 million euros a week. So yeah, it's ridiculous. It's mad. Well, Neymar's just over $1 million. And then it's a big drop down to Marquinhos. You can't see what the problem at PSG is, can you? There, 2 players are on over. Yeah, and then there's like a over 500,000 difference in their wages. Wow. Madness. I heard a rumor that Mbappe will be spending a season on loan at Wrexham.
You imagine?
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds getting him would be just interesting, unless a sponsor helped us. Yeah, well, that's one way, and obviously we all know who we're sponsored by, and you know the links with PSG. So who knows? But I just can't see it happening. 1331 was told by someone he, not our profile though, a super Mick Arteta lookalike stud centimeters. Yeah, I know who you're on about there. You can actually say his name as well, because he's not banned from the chat. It's just the other one. How are we affording 70 million a year in wages? His shirt sales would be fire, 100%. The say to Remus similar to Giroud. The guy is a team. Yep, fair enough. Quality. It's so tough because Mbappe would make rivals' defenses drop so much and keep all of their attention on him leaving Martinelli and Saka free. His presence alone would be game changing, 100%. Is this guy got much? Mbappe, I'm guessing.
No,
look,
must be talking about the other dude from Porto.
Oh, Taremi. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think I'd rather get another centre mid. Okay,
I think
fair enough. Oh, you might
right.
be slightly behind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big up to McKins. I do apologise if you're behind what we're saying right now. But I hope you enjoy the show. But yeah, we're a little bit ahead of you. Right. Let's move on to when Mikel Arteta means reset. He means it. And I've done this because I haven't specifically done a slide for Steve, and I haven't done a specific slide for Gary. But this also falls in the same parameters of talking about Thomas Partey. He knows exactly what went wrong for him, and this is where he's now pressing the reset button. Now, Steve Round is not a big reset button. There is a job that has been offered to him, and he's very keen on working with someone he's worked before. So that will be announced, I'm hoping, within a week or two. But Steve, if you are listening, good luck, because you definitely deserve it. He's done a great job at Arsenal. Regarding Gary, that's a different situation where Gary, in the past 2-3 seasons, was a little bit experimental with his methods of getting people fit again. And it kind of didn't work, which is why we kept getting stupid injuries left, right, and centre. It had nothing to do with the women's team, just so everyone's fully aware there. But he will be going to Man United later in the summer. Obviously, he's got other things to do at the moment because he does do our medicals, so he's kind of needed today. But he will be joining Man United later, and his family is from the North East. So it kind of does make sense that he's leaving to go to Man United. But as I said, this is all to do with information that Arsenal have used by the data analysts. And it's not just about players, it's about every single thing at that club. The data team are extensive. They're very nerdy, and I love them to bits. But this is why we're doing certain things weirdly in people's eyes. Like we're getting rid of Steve Round. Everyone's going, what? What are we doing? Someone's coming in. I guarantee you someone's coming in. And we will talk about who, possibly, shortly. But I look, if Mikel Arteta wants to do this and he's seen stuff and he's seen it from the data team, trust them. You know, they're paid big bucks to do this. But Canners, how do you feel about Gary O'Driscoll leaving, Steve Round leaving? Let's just talk about those two specifically.
Well, first and foremost, with Steve Round, I'll talk about. I think, he was a good soundboard for Arteta when he first come in. I think, he had a lot of, he's a very experienced assistant. He's been out of various clubs, Everton, Man U, etc. Blah blah blah. So it's like he's been around. I think it was good for Mikel to have someone like that beside him to kind of act as a buffer, so to speak, sometimes, and also as well to kind of sound and get that little bit of help. I think now, such as Mikel and what he's learned, and he's a quick learner. We're all seeing that, how quick he sees the issues that we're having and looks to get them rectified and sorted out, and we progress and evolve. I think it got to a point now where such as the reliance on Steve Round is less and lesser now. and also as well coupled by the fact that he's got another offer as well. So I think it's, you know, both parties, best time for him to leave. And good luck to him. Nothing but good luck to Steve Round. So thank you for your service. Gary O'Driscoll now. For me, I guess an example of maybe his wacky methods or wherever or not they are is Thomas Partey. I mean, the guy had a near perfect you know, injury record at Atletico Madrid. And all of a sudden, boom, comes over here and last couple of seasons, well, not last season, 2 seasons before, was always on the bench. You couldn't really rely on him. Was Mr. Glass. And there was too much, I think, of that with certain players. And if he has been experimenting somewhat, I mean, you don't experiment on your first team players in certain methods. I think you got to maybe I'm not. You shouldn't be experimenting full stop. To be honest, you should know about this kind of whatever methods you're using. You should have I don't know, another team experimenting and you know them giving you the techniques to say, hey, this works and that doesn't work, etc., etc. So again, it's probably for more personal reasons than professional. Maybe he's going back up to the north. Good luck to him, but I think it's best for all parties that he moves on.
100%. I just want to quickly say Steve has helped me in the last 4 or 5 months with certain bits and bobs, and without him, some of the part of the match previews wouldn't be able to be done. So, Steve, I'm going to miss you, but because I know what club he's going to, I will still continuously talk to him.
Okay.
Because it's not a club that we hate. Well, I don't hate, so some people might. But yeah, I can't wait to speak to him at his new club. Arteta has brought our club from the sewer to where we can smell fresh air. Let's trust him. 100% Tony Fulbrook. Thank you very much for tuning in. That's why I wanted to leave your comment up there whilst we were talking about it, because honestly, that's exactly. And I love that people like to give the credit to Mikel, but I would like to also say Josh, Richard, Edu, many people behind the scenes that have also helped. You know, Mikel is just the manager. There are, and to be fair, even though me and him do have issues, Vinay has stepped up the mark lately. So big up to Vinay as well.
I think Arsenal, in essence, have made, as much as you know, Arteta has made the big calls on the playing side. I think Josh and their team have got to be kind of, you know, applauded with the changes they made from the backline stuff, from getting rid of Don Royal and Sven Mislintat and those kind of guys. We was going nowhere fast. We was literally a rudderless ship, and I think those kind of things, there's everybody at the time thinking, oh, why are we getting rid of these guys? These guys are the guys who look like they want to spend the money and blah, blah, blah. But no, we've now got guys in who want nothing but the best for the club. And I just see us going in the right way. And it's brilliant to see and to watch, actually, that we're a well-oiled machine right now.
Yeah, we are.
I think someone in the chat, I think the Geeks and Muggleby said it previously. It's such a great time to kind of be an Arsenal fan right now.
Yeah,
we're proud of the club at the moment, and we can only get better.
Yeah, exactly. Just want to quickly say, because I know all you'll kind of guess who the other person that I'm going to be talking about shortly is. It's not Fabregas, because he's actually part owner of Como B. So the chances of him coaching for us is 0 to none, if I'm honest. Could he do it in the future? Possibly, depending on what happens with Como. So yeah, but to be honest, if anyone has seen their stadium, if anyone wants to leave that club, they must be crazy, because it is the most stunning view.
Oh, really?
Honestly, you should look it up. It is the most beautiful location in Italy to play football from. It's stunning. Because I know Dennis Wise is involved in the whole ownership as well. It's an interesting project over there. So yeah, I'm going to definitely keep an eye on Fabregas at Como, but there's no way he will be coming. And I want to talk about this because everyone knows how much I love my kits. I have over 30 different shirts, football related, Arsenal related, whatever they are. And yes, I do agree that the new home kit, which I'm wearing now, is probably my most favourite one I've ever seen, because it's the blend and it's got a nice gold, and honestly, it's stunning. I absolutely love it. And it then moves on to the training kits. Now, I am well known, and my partner hates me for this. I'm well known for buying training kits because they are my favourite shirts, because they're always different. They've always got a really interesting design.
And Arsenal being Arsenal, they'll bring out 10 a season, don't they?
Well, to be honest, and thankfully my partner's out because she's celebrating finishing her school term this year, so that all teachers are all celebrating tonight. I've got 2 in my basket already, waiting for the new kit to be released. So I will be getting 2 of the training kits because I absolutely love them. It's the new red one, the really dark, like a burgundy red, and the black one with the yellow and blue. I absolutely love them. So they are in my basket, but I'm waiting for the shirt to come out as well at the moment. So yes, I will be getting the training kit. So big up to you, Kate and Monkleby. I'm going to admit it now because I know my partner won't watch it, so I'm safe. Obsessed with being a brilliant manager. I believe he could be, but this is the thing. A lot of people, they could be great players. And I will say this about Paul Ince. Paul Ince was a great player. I enjoy watching him. Awful manager. Absolutely awful. There's nothing nice to say about Paul Ince regarding being a manager. And it doesn't always work. Sometimes I think actually it's being the worst footballer makes you be the better manager. Wenger was well known for not being a very good footballer, same as Klopp. And they were brilliant managers. Yeah. Slightly different with Pep, which kind of annoys me.
Yeah,
like world-class midfielder and kind of world-class manager. That kind of like annoys me a bit, if I'm honest. So I'll be very glad when he leaves Man City in 2 years' time. But yeah, it's madness. Arteta good at seeing Arsenal issues because he spent 5 years playing under Wenger, says Terence. This experience has helped him massively to know what to do. 100%. Arteta addressed the rot, turned the fractions into a dressing room. 100%. Sorry, miss that where round's going. I can't say. I've got to allow the announcement to be made. I can't say it, unfortunately. I can give clues, which I have done, but I can't say that because it's his job and for the club to mention it before I do. So it will come out, I promise. Chairman, he's my Northampton fan. Big up to you, Luke. Chairman Kelvin Thomas said, we are extremely happy with the decision, which shows very clearly that the appropriate processes were followed by the council and the club all along. There's obviously something happening at Northampton Town. I will definitely look into it, Luke, but thank you ever so much for always being here and updating me on Northampton Town. Wenger leaving is likely the greatest factor to us improving. Yeah, there's definitely a mix on that one, if I'm honest. So happy Arden is getting his statue, says Geeks of Muckleby. Love the guy, but he was holding us back in the dark ages. It's very mixed on Arden. Yeah. I do get it. I was very similar to it last night. If Mecca is data-driven, is he now rebuilding a real build? No. He's now fixing the issues. There's small issues at the club, which he's now fixing. So it's like tiny little errors. That's what he's now fixing, and then will just become better. Canada jersey coming, World Cup soon, down under 2. I'll tell you what annoys me about the World Cup. There's some beautiful shirts that have been designed, and I know I'm talking about shirts again. I do apologise, but I am obsessed with them. There are some beautiful shirts that have been designed for the women's teams. But can you buy them in men's? Can you, bugger? I can't believe it. You can't buy a men's version of the women's shirt.
Now,
some of those shirts are stunning.
Yeah.
The England one is amazing. The light blue one.
Yeah.
Amazing. But we can't buy it. There's the Nigerian team. They've got a wonderful shirt. Germans, absolutely amazing away shirts. I can't buy it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, yes, I'll have that. Can't buy it. And I'm like, seriously? So I ended up getting the black one because there's the only away shirt I could get in German. But never mind. I'm moaning now. Doing better. Right. Okay. Stephen, something about Stephen Foot. Lampard, for example. Yes.
Yeah.
I like that too. White she was a teacher. I have to wait till she is out.
I think we're all in the same. We're all in the same.
Yeah.
Put pardon the pun basket on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Put it in the basket. Someone might have said something right there. I'm not saying if it's right or not, but there's definitely rumours out there. Why do you think about the rumour Chelsea are reluctant to pay Brighton price for Caicedo in his new contract? And he says he can leave the Champions League team. It's £100 million they want for him. So if people think we're mad for paying 100 million for Rice, who's had how many years, good years at West Ham, international as well, performed on the international stage very comfortably.
So is that why they're asking 100? So they can ask for 100 million, whatever, basic. So that's referring to then his contract. He must have a particular amount, basically, stuck in his contract to a Champions League team, in terms of like a release clause. But obviously, Brighton can ask for whatever they want to a team not in a Champions League. That's interesting, actually. And I guess that because I was always kind of wondering, why on earth did he sign a new contract if he really wanted to leave? And that some clauses must have been inserted into that contract, and that must have been one of them.
Yeah. So does Tony Forbrook says on there. Right, we're going to question mark that. We've got 2 questions at the end. Arsenal Forever, I have seen your question. I have started it, I promise. Right, and what if? Look, to be honest, I can't see anyone paying 100 million. So I think Caicedo will be staying because Arsenal definitely won't. We were umming and ahhing paying 80. We're definitely not going to pay 100. So look, it's kind of his own fault if I'm honest now because he chose to sign a new contract. He didn't have to.
Yeah.
He chose to. So silly for him if I'm honest. Right, I think this is the last conversation. Let's see what happens with Santi Cazorla is the title. Look, it is starting to rumble on and getting more and more concrete that there is a big possibility that Santi Cazorla will be coming back to Arsenal as a coach. There is 2 offers on the table. One is from Villarreal. That is a player coach role, so there's a good chance he might play there, which is obviously going to be tempting to him. So if he does choose that, I'm not going to begrudge him that because he's going to get a chance to still play. He's never going to play with Arsenal. Would I be happy with him? 100%. 100% happy with this guy because him being able to train Smith Rowe changes Smith Rowe into very good player into something that could be unplayable. Because Smith Rowe has clearly got the talent. Everyone's seeing it in the under-21s at the moment. He's been absolutely fantastic for him. And being trained by Santi, wow.
That's just crazy because, I mean, you can only imagine being, someone like Smith Rowe and watching this guy in training. I'm sure he'd get involved in a little bit here and there, whatever. Yeah. Because he's still super fit for his age, etc., etc. And to learn off someone like that, would just be amazing. It's a shame how he left. And I think it would be nice to have him back. So, number one, he can, address the fans as he wanted to, I guess. But more importantly, if he's a good coach, then he's more than welcome back at the club.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to go into these questions and we'll go through some comments, but there's been a very good one again from Geeks and Muckaby. Honestly, you've been awesome tonight. So thank you ever so much for subscribing and just being in there, the comments all the time.
Absolutely.
Arsenal are nearing the stage where we only need 1 or 2 quality signings a window. I feel the FPL is too competitive to demand trophies, but we can only ask Arsenal can compete, which we are. I have always been told by my granddad, and my granddad's lived through many spells where Arsenal didn't win anything, weren't even competitive. He always told me, don't expect to win trophies. You want your team to compete for trophies. If you always come second, then you always come second. That's fine. At least you're competing. And that's how I've always been taught by my granddad, and that's how I'll always be an Arsenal fan. I don't ever expect us to win the Premier League. I think there's only... I was thinking about what my granddad said a couple of days ago. I don't know why. I think someone said something to me the other day, and kind of made me think. I think only 2 teams, maybe 3 in the whole of Europe should really say they expect to win the league. And that is Man City with the way that they're set up, Bayern Munich, and PSG. They're the only 3 teams, I think, in the whole of Europe where their fans can probably say we expect to win the league. Like if you go to Scotland, it's between Rangers and Celtic.
Yeah.
They are going to say, okay, we want to compete. Some might go say, I expect to win it, but let's be honest, those 2 teams are the biggest teams over there. Dortmund fans in Germany compete. You know, that you want to take Munich as far as you possibly can. Then you go to the other different leagues, and there's just so much competition.
Yeah.
But there's only 3 teams in the whole of Europe that can say expect. Yeah. And
right.
We are not one of those. We've never been one of those. And to be honest, I wouldn't want to be, because if I was expecting to win a game or expecting to win a trophy, I wouldn't enjoy football as much, because I enjoy the drama. I've been to FA Cup finals, and I remember one where my mum and my dad really fell out really badly, because it was when they used to go to replays, and the replay was on the Wednesday after. So obviously I can't remember if it might have been Sheffield Wednesday or I can't remember what it was. It was in the 90s. I can't remember exactly who it was. My brain's not good enough for that. But I remember we drew the game. Dad tried to work out a way to tell my mum by the time we got home that he bought the replay tickets already, and my mum was furious. But I never enjoy games where, like, I don't know if people play FIFA. Like, you're not going to play FIFA and have that cheat code where you have £1 billion cheat money.
Where's the
enjoyment?
Yeah,
because you're just going to win every. That's not that's football's drama for me, and I love it. I absolutely love it. You never know what's going to happen. The EPL for me is the most competitive league in the world, where out of all the 20 teams, anyone can beat anyone, and that's how it should always stay. So yeah, I know I've gone off a tangent once.
No, I'm in full agreement with you, because look, you know, from the best moments, you know, from a footballing perspective, or a fan anyway, has been from those moments when you're not supposed to have, you know, totally not supposed to have won a game, where the other team is expected to win, i.e. Anfield 89, and even 2 years prior to that, I mean, the Littlewoods Cup final in 87, you know, we went 1-0 down against Liverpool, and when it was noted, and this was the first game it didn't happen, when Ian Rush scored, Liverpool never lost, and he scored the first goal. And I just remember us all at Wembley. I was a little kid then, and just kind of think, he scored, that's it, now we ain't gonna win, blah blah blah, you know, that's it, we've lost. And we won the bloody game. And the feeling of that, you know, and then fast forward a couple of years, well, the next year we lost against Luton. We were supposed to, but football is like that, and the fact of the matter with football, what we love is that it's not a science, and especially in the EPL. And I think even more so this year, I would say there's 8 teams in the Premiership that wouldn't surprise me if they took points off each other. From your Brighton taking points off Man City, your Newcastle taking points off us, you know, Man United taking points off Chelsea, Liverpool taking points off Villa, or Villa taking points off, you know, Liverpool. So this season is going to be one of the most competitive seasons going. And I think we're positioned so neatly right now, where I think we it's going to be so important against those 7-8 other teams, how we do against them. And as long as we pick up points against them, and we do what we need to do against the team from 10 downwards or whatever you'd expect to be there. Listen, it's such an intriguing season, and it wouldn't surprise me if another couple of teams have a torrid season when they're not supposed to have a torrid season. It's going to happen.
100%. Big up to Steve for saying we are not entitled to win anything. Exactly.
100%. 100%.
Moss saying here about what I was saying was about the most competitive top league in all of Europe. But yes, you know me and Moss. I love the
Oh,
Championship League.
that's
League
a horrible league that is, I tell you.
I honestly think all our 4 leagues this season will be the most entertaining we've ever seen in years, because the Championship is 24 teams that battle with every single game. League One has got more interesting clubs, and obviously League Two have now got Wrexham and Notts County have got big money behind them, but they've also got Salford. And to be honest, and yes, I don't normally have a dig at Man United, but
Go on.
for Wrexham to get promotion over the class of '92 who own Salford City, I will be delighted, because I can't stand him. Gary Neville is the most annoying person on this planet.
I thought he was going to give us a Kevin Keegan moment there. I would love it.
Look, I have the privilege to speak to every owner in the pyramid system, and I will be delighted for Wrexham to win, honestly, because their vision for the club is incredible. Same with Notts County, but Salford, honestly, they deserve exactly what they're getting right now, which is nothing, because they have messed it up, and it's their own fault. But anyway, 100% agree. Enjoy the journey, the highs, the lows, camaraderie. Thank you, and the thrill anticipation of a new season. Football is amazing.
Go on, you Gunners.
Oh, okay, thank you. I was trying to work out what that was. I was like, well,
I've been drinking water, so my brain's still just about working.
Big up to Tony. I noticed about a question about that we have got in a minute. I was at White Hart Lane in 1971 and at Anfield. Oh, wow. But don't tell the wife. Okay, fair enough. Canners is right. Maybe this year, if everyone turns up, the EPO is going to be so tough. Maybe a lower points total will win it. Look, this is what I've always said for years now. The only way we can stop City is if everyone is on fire. So that includes, as much as everyone doesn't want Chelsea to do well, we need Chelsea to do well. We need Liverpool to do well. We need United to do well. Newcastle to stay up there as well. All chip away at Man City. Not saying just so we win it, but it just makes the league more competitive, and hopefully Man City don't win it, because there's so much I know about City. I don't want them ever to win it ever again. And that's me saying that. So, right, let's get into these questions and then we'll wrap it up for tonight. Do you think we will announce Timber before we do Rice? I'm expecting Timber over the weekend and Rice not until Monday or Tuesday. I'm pretty sure you're spot on with that, Luke. If I'm honest, I think that's the way we're going to do it, because it's the little announcements. It's been Nelson first, Saliba. I do believe it will be Timber next. I think Timber wouldn't surprise me if that's tomorrow, if I'm honest. And then Rice, I can't see them doing it on a Sunday. I don't think that's very wise. Monday, I would say, for Rice. There's a lot of filming happening tomorrow. I think everyone's fully aware that there is no tours tomorrow. There is some filming tomorrow being done, and it is mainly to do with Declan Rice. Honestly, the plans for this video is crazy. Rightly so, because it is a massive amount of money and it's a massive deal should be made about it. There's a few final touches they're making to the some videos that they're doing for Declan tomorrow. So I don't see that happening until Monday, if I'm honest. Maybe Tuesday. You know what the PR system is like at Arsenal. It's sloth mode. And I'm entitled to say that. And if any Arsenal staff member is, you know my email address. Just email me. But I love you all. What is your favourite Arsenal double winning team out of 71, 98 or 2002? Mine's 98. I definitely was not around in 71. Can't believe you even think I was. But I won't ever comment on something I don't know enough about. So I know the 71 team because my granddad and my dad told me all about the 71 team. However, I don't know enough about it. But yeah, I'm going to go with 98. What about you, Canners?
I'm in the same boat. I wasn't around for 71, but again, the iconic moment of the winner at White Hart Lane, and then the win against Liverpool at Anfield, and that famous Charlie George winner is goes down in folklore. So I can only imagine what it must have been like in those days. But 98, I remember. It was great. You know, we just kind of wrestled the championship from Man U, went on that amazing run, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then we steamrolled Newcastle in the final. I think that has to be my favourite one, really. 2002, I just think was a walk in the park for us, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That was bloody easy. That one, the 2002 one. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that was like such a blasé one, because even the too easy. 2002, 98 was great because of that magnificent run we went on, and then the emergence of Anelka. Oh
yeah. As much as I hated him after he left, when it was Arsenal, it was electrifying to watch. Absolutely electrifying. Most important question of the night, which is why I've saved it to the last. Good.
Yes.
Did Canners hear the Declan Rice song?
Yes, I was inundated with everyone kind of. So I was just like, put it on. I was like, oh, okay. Don't know the lyrics yet. However, got time to learn them. So no doubt I'll be singing that soon. But yeah, love it.
Arsenal Forever saying, what is your favourite Arsenal title win? Mine is 89. Always be 89. Got the badges and pins to say I absolutely love it. What about you, Canners?
Hands down. I mean, that's another JFK moment, isn't it? Where was you when Arsenal won that? And I just remember just looking at it. I just remember the minute before thinking about what I'm going to say in school on the Monday, because it's going to be, you know, the topic of conversation, you know, when my mom was going 1 minute. And I was thinking, all right, we beat them, you know, but then what would they say? They'll say, well, we let you win. We only need to lose 1-0, blah, blah, blah. And then time literally stood still with Michael Thomas, making, as you can see, the backdrop of that.
Exactly.
That was just like, I just couldn't believe it. I remember the neighbours the next day just saying, is everyone all right? We had a lot of screaming.
And the thing is, that Liverpool team was very good.
You don't go to Anfield in those days and win 2-0. You just didn't. It didn't happen. Happen.
No, 100%. Right, let's just go back to some other ones. Me Too, Arsenal Forever, and of course, Invincible season. Between Arsenal and Man United, which project is more attractive as of now? Easiest question I've had all night, to be honest, Aaron. So thank you very much for making my evening easy. Definitely Man United, but no, seriously, Arsenal. I wouldn't set a pet rat to Man United at the moment, if I'm honest. It's a mess.
Exactly. That's the word.
Look, I work on FCSM with some fantastic Man United fans, and we've all got a sister channel with the Man United agenda, and we all love each other to bits. So I don't wish them any pain, but that club needs to be sold quickly, because those owners are just awful. Look, and people like say, oh, because they're American. Our American owners know exactly what they're doing now. Stan, maybe not so much, but Josh, I promise you, Josh knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah,
he is being absolutely brilliant. So yeah, everyone's going pretty much for 89. I couldn't go WHL in as I was 10. Okay, got you in 70 for our Fairs Cup. Wow, jeez. Wow. Brenny should be here because Brenny would be loving this history stuff.
Yeah.
Brenny is our historian of the.
It is our Arsenal encyclopedia.
Yeah, Arsenal, especially when every 30 fan over here was Liverpool and we beat them at Anfield. Luke, I know your Glazers in. I'm Glazers out because I just want the best for fans. Stan winning titles, what he does exactly, he has done it pretty much at every club he owns. Right, it's been a fantastic stream. An hour and 45 minutes. I do apologise, Canners.
No, listen. This is what Friday night's all about. Talking about the Arsenal.
Talking about the Arsenal, exactly. What on earth is on my phone? I've now got some American weird stuff talking about Balogun on my phone.
It's like we're killing the Americans tonight, aren't we? You're flipping egg.
Well, I know the reason it's on my phone. Balogun in the last 4 hours has said more stuff that's going to annoy me, and it's going to annoy the fans. And I think all the fans will end up just saying, "Just sell him, get rid of him." Yeah, because honestly, he's absolutely a nightmare. Right, thank you guys. Thank you very much, Geeks of Muckleby. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's been great. You've been absolutely brilliant in the chat.
Everyone in the comments.
Yeah, everyone has been absolutely amazing. Great show, lads. My first time back. I'll be back. Thank you, Terminator. Really appreciate it, Tony Fulbrook. Can't wait to see you next time. Balaguna, I mean, it is. Yeah, exactly. He has to go. Canners, where can people find you, my friend?
Yeah, you can find me as always on Twitter at Canners2204. But most likely, really, here at the Armoury TV. I'm trying to do as much shows as I can with Bobby, and also as well, Loose Cannons happens every other week or so. So yeah, do tune in. Yeah, here's to another great week actually of Arsenal news.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a busy one. As most people are aware, I try and break the breaking news as quick as I possibly can. I was, before most people announced it on Twitter today with Saliba, I even shocked Luke. He says, "It's only just broke up my phone. How are you streaming about it?" Sometimes it's good to have good friends in good places. But look, there will be some breaking news over the next 4 days. I'm going to trust the Arsenal PR machine to be at least 4 days time. With the Timber and the Declan Rice, all the medicals are done, everything's signed, everything's happy days. But what I will be doing tomorrow, and I'll be doing it with Moss, that's been in the chat, and hopefully Luke as well. Tomorrow evening at 5 p.m, which will be streaming on the Armoury, but also Full-Time Sports Network and Across the Pond Sports Talk. England versus Spain under-21 Championship final. So we're doing it from the Armoury because obviously Smith Rowe is a Gooner. So we're going to be representing him, but we'll be enjoying a very good game. It's going to be a tricky one. Spain are very, very good. You know, the Ukrainians knocked out the French, which was most people's favourites. And then Spain annihilated Ukraine. So it's going to be tough, let's be honest. But the way that England play, I guarantee you guys, it's going to be entertaining. And it's on Channel 4 tomorrow for anyone that hasn't been able to watch it. As Lucas just said, yeah, Channel 4 is showing it in the UK. Normally it's been on UEFA app, but they're actually showing it. Moss is obsessed with this under 23. It's the way it's done. They're all about 22, 23 now, but at the time of the qualifiers, they were under 21. Yeah, honestly, it's a good system because at least you're not losing players throughout the qualifying period. Like, I've now turned 22, I've got to go now. They allow it, so it's absolutely brilliant. But yes, what else will I be doing? I'll be definitely back next Tuesday with some Arsenal news, and next Friday again. And then I think that's about it. But there'll be a lot of breaking news because we obviously got Timber coming and we've got Rice coming, so there will be breaking news at some point, and we'll do our utmost as long as it's not 11 o'clock at night. Which I can't. When it comes to a signing, there's no way it's going to be 11 o'clock at night. I'm thinking because they're doing 3 o'clocks, and we all know why they're doing 3 o'clocks announcements because it's football time. So yeah, watch out for 3 o'clock tomorrow is my prediction on Timber. So guys, really appreciate it. Take care, everyone. Thank you ever so much for joining me, and we'll see you very, very soon once I can get to the outro. There we go. Thank you very much. Bye bye.